Hello everyone, welcome to Super Kalam. I am your mentor and teacher Arpita Sharma, and in this session we are going to focus on the current affairs aspect of Indian economy. All the important dynamic topics plus static topics and concepts in economy, we are going to merge them along with previous year questions both from prelims and mains. Holistic marathon hai, part 2 hai marathon ka, part 1 already is covered. The link is given in description box. Attend this session till the very end because we are going to make notes in the class itself. And you are also going to get quizzes and tests in the class, so make sure that you stay tuned. ठीक है, आपके सारे डाउट्स आपकी इकोनॉमी को सॉल्व कर देंगे. इकोनॉमी का कोई भी प्रॉब्लम है सॉल्व हो जाएगा आफ्टर दिस सेशन. योर कॉन्सेप्चुअल प्रॉब्लम, योर फियर ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स विल ऑल गेट वैनिश्ड. Okay, let's get started everyone. So in the last class, that is the marathon session part 1, we had covered and very nicely we had understood the basic concepts: GDP, inflation, and banking. The monetary policies also we studied. So हमने core concepts, the starting concepts we had covered. Now in this class we are going to focus more on the fiscal policy, budget and deficits, agriculture industry unemployment, external sector BOP plus forex reserves. Then we are going to make sure that we practice some PYQs also. But what is going to be the format of this session? Because this is slightly different. We have current affairs part also, which will be included. But first of all, let me break up some myths that you have created or you might have fallen into while preparing for economy. We think that 90% in economy we have current affairs, which is wrong. Economy is based on conceptual concepts, factual concepts, understanding of the concepts. Only 65 to 70% of the entire paper is based on the static concepts of economy. Rest is PYQ repetition. And then we have, after PYQ repetition, small part, let's say 5 to 6% is based on current affairs. Yani ki current affairs, the importance or you can say the space of current affairs is very less in Indian economy. That you have to remember. I am not saying that current affairs have to be ignored holistically. No, because those static concepts are merged with current affairs. I'll show you how in the class during the class. But you have to remember, if your concepts are not strong, no matter how many current affair magazines you study in Indian economy, you are not going to excel in Indian economy if you are just dependent on them and your concepts are weak. I have conducted so many tests on a Telegram community, which the link is also given in the description box in the comment section. And in those tests, I ask static plus current affair based questions, and students are getting them wrong. Those students who have been preparing very diligently, they are getting them wrong. Why? Because their static concepts are not strong. So that is why this class, the purpose of this class is not to just study from scratch, prepare from scratch. It is a marathon session. We are going to revise. We have 2025 students here. So I am presuming that you guys have completed your Indian economy, but this class is meant to awaken you, to open your eyes. Ki these are the concepts which are asked, and these are the concepts which you should be strong in. And related to these concepts, these are the current affairs which are in news, so that you become more and more aware. Okay. We are, as per usual, we are going to make notes in the class. We have already covered these, so I have tick marked it. Fiscal policy cover करनी है अभी हमें, ठीक है? So this class will be divided into different phases, different parts. Part 1 would be dependent on fiscal policy. Then in part 2, what we are going to study, economic survey and budget, because we have already covered survey and budget when it was released. The link is given in description box. So we are going to focus on the core items, key data, schemes, terms, etc. We will study about unemployment, we will study about poverty, external sector, agriculture, infrastructure, etc. तो ये हमारी क्लास का आज रहेगा एजेंडा. सो वी आर स्टार्टिंग विथ फिजिकल पॉलिसी. सबसे पहले हम स्टार्ट ही कर रहे हैं फिजिकल पॉलिसी से. एंड यू ऑल नो माई टीचिंग स्टाइल. आई मेक नोट्स राइट इन द क्लास सो दैट वी आर नॉट जस्ट वॉचिंग द पीपीटी, द प्रेजेंटेशन एंड मगिंग थिंग्स अप. वो मेरा स्टाइल नहीं है पढ़ाने का. So I make notes right in the class itself so that you can also write down, you can also revise. This is known as quick recall method. ठीक है, लिखते लिखते हम विजुलाइज करके चीजों को याद कर रहे होते हैं. सो फिजिकल पॉलिसी होता क्या है? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दैट, बिकॉज फिजिकल पॉलिसी इज यूपीएससी's फेवरेट. यू कैन नॉट imagine economy without understanding fiscal policy. So it is basically a government policy. ये एक government policy होती है. Government policy with respect to, WRT means with respect to public expenditure. Public expenditure, I'll make things very easy for you. With respect to taxation, with respect to public debt, that is fiscal policy. ठीक है, तो इसको ऐसे हम बना देते हैं एरोस. आई जस्ट इंक्रीज द लाइट. यस, public expenditure, taxation, and public debt in these domains when government makes policy, that is fiscal policy. ठीक है. Now you can also say that fiscal policy basically is means by which government adjusts its spending level. Now this is very easy and clear definition to understand. And tax rates to monitor and to influence nation's economy. Now your mother must be preparing some kind of budget in your home, right? Our mothers, they prepare budget ki in this month this is going to be our earning, these are the expenses, बच्चों की school की fees, your school fees, college fees, ration, etc., right? So because of that policy or that budget that she prepares, we are able to spend wisely, we are able to spend within our means. Similarly, government also creates fiscal policy. So fiscal policy is basically a policy, a plan that government prepares, keeping in mind what are the public expenditure which are going to happen, the taxation, the public debt that government has taken, and then according to it, the tax rates and growth of economy and spending level of government and the economy is measured. ठीक है, is adjusted कि ये हमारी policy है, इसके अंतर्गत ही हमको क्या करना है, खर्चा करना है या स्पेंडिंग लेवल्स अपने रखने हैं. ठीक है, यहाँ तक पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया सभी का. ठीक है, नाउ लेट्स मूव हेड, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now, in yesterday's test, I asked a question on Keynesian economic policy, Keynesian economic, and students were confused. NCERT level topic hai. It is an NCERT, so that means majority students are not studying NCERTs, which is again flaw number 1 in your preparation if you're not touching NCERT. सबसे भारी और सबसे बड़ी mistake कर रहे हो. ठीक है, बट कोई बात नहीं. इन इंडियन इकोनॉमी वी आर कवरिंग एनसीईआरटी बेस्ड टॉपिक्स ऑल्सो. सो फिजिकल पॉलिसी इज बेस्ड ऑन द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ, राइट इट डाउन, principles of Keynesian economics. Keynesian economics के principle पे based है. Now you must be wondering, ma'am, then what is Keynesian economics? यही समझा दूँ हमें. So it is quite simple. I also shared a mind map on Keynesian economics in the Telegram community. So basically it states that the government can influence, it has the power to influence the macroeconomic productivity levels by either increasing or decreasing tax levels and public spending. ये तो हम सबको ही पता है, but it is also a part of a principle that you have to remember. अगर पब्लिक स्पेंडिंग या टैक्स लेवल को बढ़ाया जाए गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा और इसको कम किया जाए तो मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक प्रोडक्टिविटी लेवल्स तो इन्फ्लुएंस डायरेक्टली गवर्नमेंट कर ही सकती है. दिस इज अनसेड रूल, दिस इज काइंड ऑफ वेरी ऑब्वियस, but it is known as a part of principle of Keynesian economics, and that is what the fiscal policy is ruled by or governed by. ठीक है, तो ये आपको पॉइंट याद रखना है फॉर प्रीलिम्स. यू हैव टू रिमेंबर नॉट जस्ट फॉर प्रीलिम्स बट फॉर मेंस ऑल्सो. ठीक है, दिस इज हाउ बेसिकली इकोनॉमी इज वर्किंग. ऐसे ही तो इकोनॉमी काम कर रही है. So why fiscal policy must be helpful? It is helpful for mobilizing additional resources because policy बन जाती है उसके हिसाब से government has to adjust its spending levels. Secondly, it tries to reduce external inequality. Okay. Third, it tries to raise standard of living among the masses. एक इक्विलिब्रियम मेंटेन करने के लिए फिस्कल पॉलिसी की जरूरत होती है. प्राइस लेवल को स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए, टू स्टेबलाइज प्राइस लेवल, फिस्कल पॉलिसी इज इंपॉर्टेंट. बट हाउ फिस्कल पॉलिसी वर्क्स, देयर आर सर्टेन टूल्स. फॉर एग्जांपल मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी हैड सर्टेन टूल्स. मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी के भी टूल्स थे. सिमिलरली फिस्कल पॉलिसी आल्सो हैज सर्टेन टूल्स. सो फर्स्ट टूल यहां पर लिखते हैं टूल ऑफ फिस्कल पॉलिसी इज पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर. पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर में क्या आएगा? सब्सिडीज. सेकंड, ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स में वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स आ जाएगा, पब्लिक वर्क्स प्रोजेक्ट्स आ जाएगा, गवर्नमेंट सैलरीज भी आ जाएंगी. ठीक है, तो मैं यहां पर लिख देती हूँ गवर्नमेंट सैलरीज. देन हमारा पब्लिक वर्क्स प्रोजेक्ट्स. ठीक है, देन वी हैव वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम, दीज आर अंडर ट्रांसफर पेमेंट्स। ठीक है, पब्लिक एक्सपेंडिचर समझ आ गया। देन एक और टूल होता है, यहाँ पर ऐसे बना लेते हैं एंड वील राइट टूल लाइक दिस। अनदर टूल इज टैक्सेशन। Government can influence economic activity through taxation. You all know that we are paying taxes, हमारे पेरेंट्स टैक्सेस पे कर रहे हैं। देन नेक्स्ट टूल इज, यहाँ पर भी लिख देते हैं, दिस इज टूल। ठीक है, पब्लिक बोरोइंग। पब्लिक बोरोइंग मी व्हाट इज पब्लिक बोरोइंग? तो चलो यहाँ पर एक नोट बना लेते हैं सो दैट व्हेन यू रिवाइज यू विल नॉट फॉरगेट। ओके, तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज पब्लिक बोरोइंग, हाउ इट कैन बिकम अ टूल? ठीक है, क्या टूल हो सकता है इसमें? सो राइट इट डाउन। इट रेफर्स टू, yes, it refers to the means by which governments finance their expenditure that exceeds tax revenues। वो खर्चे जो टैक्स रेवेन्यू से भी पूरे नहीं हो रहे हैं, पब्लिक बोरोइंग के थ्रू गवर्नमेंट उनको फंड करती है। ठीक है, विकास पात्र, एनएससी सर्टिफिकेट्स, बॉन्ड्स एटसेट्रा, पब्लिक बॉन्ड्स जो होते हैं, ठीक है, वो हो जाएंगे यहाँ पर एग्जांपल्स। तो दीज आर थ्री, यहाँ पर मैं एक ऐसे बना देती हूँ, दीज आर public expenditure, taxation, public borrowing, these are the three fiscal policy tools that government uses। ठीक है, नाउ बेसिक डिफरेंस क्या होता है? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन फिजिकल एंड मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी? देखो, फिजिकल पॉलिसी इज बेसिकली अ मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी, वाइल ऑन द अदर हैंड यहाँ पर ये पॉलिसी जो है गवर्नमेंट यूज करती है। बट जहाँ पर हमने मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी पढ़ा था, अगेन इट इज ऑल्सो मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी, बट इट इज यूज बाय सेंट्रल बैंक आरबीआई टू इन्फ्लुएंस द मनी सप्लाई। ओके, यहाँ तक पॉइंट क्लियर हो क्या? अब यहाँ पर फिजिकल पॉलिसी जो होगा इट विल बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट, बट मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी विल बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय सेंट्रल बैंक आरबीआई। ठीक है, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी में एग्जांपल्स कैन बी बैंक रेट, कैश रिजर्व रेशियो, ओएमओ, स्टैट्यूटरी लिक्विडिटी रेशियो, आरआरआर, रेपो रेट, दीज आर मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी टूल्स। Fiscal policy tools are public expenditure, taxation, public borrowing, etc. These are fiscal policy tools. ये याद रहेगा। Similarly, we studied in monetary policy also that there are two kinds of policies, ना, expansionary and contractionary। यही पढ़ा था हमने over here। Similarly, in fiscal policy also we have expansionary and contractionary policy। ओके, सो बेसिकली एक्सपेंशनरी पॉलिसी में एक क्वेश्चन होता है कि इट कैन कॉज इन्फ्लेशन, तो बड़ा बच के रहना पड़ता है। कॉन्ट्रैक्शनरी पॉलिसी इन फिजिकल पॉलिसी कैन ट्रिगर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, तो वो कॉशन रहता है, वो एक तरीके से वार्निंग रहता है विद फिजिकल पॉलिसी। ठीक है, सो वी हैव अंडरस्टूड द की एस्पेक्ट ऑफ फिजिकल पॉलिसी, हमने एक की एस्पेक्ट तो पढ़ लिया। ठीक है, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड फर्दर। यहाँ पर मैं दिखाती हूँ हमने क्या क्या पढ़ा, एक बार टिक कर लेते हैं सो दैट यू नो व्हाट वी हैव स्टडीड। We have studied the key aspect of fiscal policy. Now we will study the types of deficits and FRBM Act. ये दो चीजें अब हमारे पास बची हैं। In fiscal policy we have types of deficits. We'll study that, and this is very important. You can expect 10 marker question FRBM से 10 mark का question आप मेंस में expect कर सकते हो। And from FRBM Act and types of deficits, total 8 to 10 marks you can expect in prelims also. So let's get started. All right. Now we are going to study the types of deficits. Now this has been UPSC's favorite. I told you now that we are going to also integrate previous year questions. So types of deficits is one such aspect on which a lot of times questions have been repeated. तो इस पे हम एक star बना लेते हैं. We'll create a star over here because we are going to revise. So make sure that you are aware of what definitions we are understanding. आपको observe करना है. You have to observe if you have crammed it up or you have understood it. So there are different types of deficits. For example, we have the fiscal deficit. Then we have the revenue deficit. And you all know that questions have been asked on fiscal and revenue deficit. फिर हमारे पास primary deficit होता है. Basically, they are considered as the three major types of deficits. There are two others. We are going to study them also. When we talk about fiscal deficit, basically what exactly is fiscal deficit? देखो, fiscal deficit basically when the government spends more money on all of its activities. You must have noticed that I've underlined all, right? All मतलब क्या होगा? In all we will have both the revenue generating activities and the non revenue generating activities. ऑल एक्टिविटीज, सारी एक्टिविटीज पे अगर पैसा गवर्नमेंट स्पेंड कर रही है, ज्यादा पैसा स्पेंड कर रही है, देन इट कलेक्ट्स than it collects from all sources, that is known as fiscal deficit. Deficit means lack of something, surplus means when you have something in abundance, डेफिसिट मतलब लैक, तो ज्यादा खर्चा हो रहा है जितना एज इन कंपैरिजन विद जितना आप कलेक्ट कर रहे हो, फिजिकल डेफिसिट, बिकॉज हियर ऑल द एक्टिविटीज आर इंक्लूडेड. देन व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट? ये क्या होता है? सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट, राइट इट डाउन. हियर द गवर्नमेंट स्पेंड्स more money more money on its revenue revenue generating activities. Here all activities are not there, non revenue generating activities are not there. Revenue generating activities like tax collection then it collects in revenue from these activities. ठीक है, डिफ्रेंसिएशन समझ आ रहा है? एक्टिविटीज. So this is the basic differentiation. Here all activities are not considered, only revenue generating activities are considered. Then we have primary deficit. So what exactly is primary deficit? दूसरे इंक से इसको लिखेंगे, ठीक है. So here the government spends more money on all of its activities, but here we are excluding interest payments than it collects in revenue from all sources. तो यहाँ पर इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स को हम कर रहे हैं एक्सक्लूड इन प्राइमरी डेफिसिट. ओके, so these are the three basic types of deficits that we have. Now other than these we have another type which is known as the budget deficit. एक और टाइप होता है बजट डेफिसिट बोलते हैं उसको, where basically government spends more money than it collects in taxes and revenue, that is known as budget deficit. So this was another kind of deficit that I wanted all of you to prepare. इसी के साथ एक और डेफिसिट होता है विच इज वेरी नाइसली नोन एज इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. इसको बोलते हैं इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. व्हाट डज इट मीन? In effective revenue deficit, what will happen that the government will spend more money on its revenue generating activities, but these activities will exclude grants. Write it down, grants for creation of capital asset. ये पॉइंट आपको याद रखना है. देन इट कलेक्ट्स रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम ऑल एक्टिविटीज, ठीक है, फ्रॉम ऑल द रेवेन्यू एक्टिविटीज. दैट इज इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. बट इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट के ऊपर इतने क्वेश्चंस पूछे नहीं गए हैं. इट इज मोर अबाउट दीज थ्री काइंड्स ऑफ deficits that UPSC has asked questions about. Okay, let's understand the FRBM Act. अब ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. FRBM Act 2003 बेसिकली इट्स काइंड ऑफ रूल बुक, गवर्नमेंट का एक रूल बुक है. Because see, when you are given pocket money, there are certain rules also in your family that you can spend your pocket money in this activity only, or this much for this much month or this much week only you can spend your pocket money, right? इतना आपको टाइम लिमिट और इतना आपको वीक लिमिट रखना है. Similarly, FRBM Act is also kind of a rule book for government so that they can spend judiciously, wisely, so that they are not falling into the debt trap. So what can be the main goal of FRBM Act? Main goal is so that government can keep its spending under control, debt को efficiently manage कर सके, economic stability बनाई जा सके, and RBI and government के बीच में एक coordination improve किया जा सके. Because I told you ना, monetary policy and fiscal policy are two policies which are used by government and RBI. So to improve the coordination between two, because if there is no coordination, inflation level may fluctuate. So that is why there are certain targets which are kept in FRBM Act, and there is section 4 in the act which makes this target. So for 2024-25, the target is that loan guarantees beyond 4.5% of GDP will not be given. Fiscal deficit should be within 3% of the GDP. so that the level of economic stability can be maintained. And there are other provisions also. What are the other provisions? The other provisions are the government, write it down, cannot borrow, cannot borrow from RBI except except during emergencies, during emergencies. And the finance minister has to review revenue and spending twice a year. साल में दो बार फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर रिव्यू करेंगी स्पेंडिंग एंड रेवेन्यू को, एंड शी विल इन्फॉर्म द पार्लियामेंट ऑल्सो. And also another provision is that the CAG, or Comptroller and Auditor General of India, that is CAG, audits compliance. This is also important. Audit का मतलब क्या होता है? When you are verifying the spending and the revenue, the earnings, that is audit. Now here FRBM Act तो हमने पढ़ लिया. With respect to FRBM Act, we have a committee also. What is that committee? So I'm going to create another page over here so that we can understand the committee. I'll remove this. तो हम इसमें यहाँ पर कमिटी को अच्छे से समझेंगे, एंड दैट इज नोन एज द एनके सिंह कमिटी. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट इट, न्यूज़पेपर में ऑलरेडी रहता है. द एनके सिंह कमिटी 2016 का रिव्यू आया था एनके सिंह कमिटी का. Why was it needed? Because the original targets were too strict. That is why a review was made. So if the targets are strict, then also there are committees to review those targets. So what did this, just write it down, what did they suggest? क्या suggest किया गया? This is important for analytical understanding. First was that focus more on the debt to GDP ratio. 60% total should be there. That means from center it should be 40%, plus from state it should be 20%. Second was reduce the fiscal deficit. We have understood what is fiscal deficit, to 2.5% of GDP by 2023. Third, reduce the revenue deficit. We have studied what exactly is revenue deficit. Reduce the revenue deficit to 0.8% of GDP by 2023. Now here what is important? Debt to GDP ratio क्या होता है? Fiscal deficit, revenue deficit. What are these? We have studied 2 out of these 3 topics, fiscal deficit and revenue deficit. Let us understand what exactly is the debt to GDP ratio. Debt to GDP ratio क्या है वो समझ लेते हैं. About the debt to GDP ratio, जब हम इसकी बात करते हैं क्या होता है ये? Basically it reflects a country's total debt as a percentage of its GDP. We have understood what is GDP also. First part of marathon we studied GDP, NDP, NNP, GNP, etc. Right? So basically it is debt to GDP ratio. How is it calculated? It is calculated, write it down, by dividing total outstanding debt by the GDP and multiplying by 100. That is how debt to GDP ratio is actually calculated. And another important aspect that I want all of you to understand it, that it includes both the public debt and private debt. Public debt का example कोई दे सकता है? Basically example can be the government debt, that is public debt. Okay, so basically this ratio will tell you our nation's ability to repay its debt. ये इसका actual understanding है. Nation's ability to repay its debt can be calculated using the debt to GDP ratio. Okay, overall financial health समझ आ जाता है. How the ability to attract foreign investment can be understood through debt to GDP ratio. Okay, so you have to understand these terms. ये terms आपके prelims के लिए बहुत important है. Plus your own understanding of economics will smoothen how things work through these ratios, through these terms. Now in the FRBM Act there is another important ratio. What is that ratio? Not ratio, it's a clause. And you must have heard about this clause in the newspaper. Many times in the Hindu newspaper, in the Indian Express newspaper, I come across this term. It is known as, write it down, escape clause. Escape clause, which is mentioned in section 42, subsection 2. Basically, it's kind of a safety valve. Okay? So what exactly is it? So government can, write it down, government can break the deficit limit by 0.5% in certain emergencies. कुछ emergency situation होता है जहां पर ये लिमिट तोड़ी जा सकती है. What can be those emergency related situations? So first is war, any kind of war or any kind of national security threats. This limit can be broken. Second is natural calamities. Then next is any kind of agricultural distress. Then if there is a big fall in GDP, then if there is any kind of costly structural structural reform which is required, in that case also this limit can be broken down, and it was done in 2019 to 20. It was done, example है ये इसका, ठीक है. And it was done in 2020 and 21. Why? Because of COVID. अगर आप जानते हो तो economic reforms and COVID का time था वो, where this particular escape clause was used. So this is important for prelims. Current affairs ऐसे link किया जाता है. That is how current affairs are basically linked. Okay. So basically अभी जो budget आया था हमारा, write it down. The budget of 2021 saw this particular clause, the usage of clause also. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर आपको ये points याद रखने हैं. That is why it is important. Just understanding, if you read about escape clause in current affairs, you will just understand percentage, terms, etc. बट टू अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग यू हैव टू स्टडी द स्टैटिक पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. एंड देर आर, राइट इट डाउन, 4 की बजट डॉक्यूमेंट्स की. मेरा पेन थोड़ा सा मुश्किल दे रहा है चलने में, बिकॉज आई थिंक ये गिर गया था, तो दैट इज वाई इट इज posing as a problem today. So there are 4 key budget documents which are prepared by the FRBM Act. What are those documents? First is, write it down, the macroeconomic framework where growth summary, GDP, inflation targets are written down. Second is, write it down, medium term fiscal policy targets for the next few years are written down by FRBM Act in the medium term fiscal policy document. These are attached with the budget. Then fiscal strategy, how government will reach these targets. It is written in fiscal strategy as per by it is mandated by the FRBM Act that government has to prepare this document. And we have medium term expenditure framework. What is the spending plan of government? That is also mandated by FRBM Act, और ये documents बनाने जरूरी हैं. How many of you knew about it? We study a budget, but do we study these kind of budget documents which are important? इसका मतलब use किया जा सकता है, right? The meaning of these documents can be asked in prelims, so this is important. Okay, so this was the FRBM Act. अब यहाँ पर आपको ये देखना है, just look at this particular table that we made in part 1. We have completed types of deficits also, FRBM Act also, और budget के भी key terms हमने पढ़ लिए. So part 1 is holistically complete. Congratulations everyone. Now we are going to study the part 2 of the class. What is part 2 of the class? Part 2 है ये dynamic part. Now we will study about important aspects, poverty estimate, unemployment. जो simple वाला part है वो पहले cover करेंगे, so that we can focus more on the tough वाला part. So now we'll study, यहाँ पर I'll create a circle over here, unemployment, trends, poverty estimates and different committees. पहले हम ये cover करेंगे, unemployment and poverty estimates, ठीक है. Then we'll move to external sector, all the key terms, ICAR, etc. यहाँ पर cover हो जाता है. Then we'll move to infrastructure, then agriculture, and then survey and budget को फटाफट revise करेंगे. Let's get started everyone. Okay, so now we are starting with unemployment. Now before we start with unemployment, I have few questions for you to understand, few topics that you need to understand. When we talk about people, there are categories in economy that we put people in. First category, I'll just select the ink. Yes, first category of people would be employed, ठीक है. Second category would be unemployed, and third category is people who are not seeking or who are not, you can say, available for for work. ठीक है, these are the three categories in which we box up people, right, economy wise. अब यहाँ पर जब हम बात करते हैं एम्प्लॉयड कैटेगरी की, दीज आर दोज इंडिविजुअल्स who are currently engaged in economic activities, those are employed people. Then we have unemployed. These are those individuals who are seeking or are available for work, but currently they are without employment. And the third category basically are those individuals who are neither actively seeking nor available for work. These are the three categories. और जब हम बात करते हैं कॉम्बिनेशन की, कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉयड एंड अनएम्प्लॉयड, दीज फॉर्म द लेबर फोर्स. ठीक है. And when we talk about the unemployment rate, how is it calculated? It is calculated as the percentage of labor force without work. That is how we calculate the unemployment rate. तो अगर इसका फॉर्मूला भी लिखना हो, so what we are going to write, unemployment rate equals number of unemployed workers divided by total labor force into 100, that is unemployment rate. ठीक है, यही हमने एनसीईआरटीज में भी पढ़ा था. वी हैड स्टडीड दिस इन एनसीईआरटी. तो अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट हमने निकाल लिया इसमें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लेट्स से employed people are 12.6 million and unemployed people, let's say, are 0.7 million. and labor force क्या हो जाएगा इस केस में, इसको हम ऐड कर देंगे तो हमारा हो गया 13.3 मिलियन. तो नाउ यू कैन कैलकुलेट अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट नाइसली. अब तो कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. ठीक है. सो दिस इज हाउ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इज बेसिकली कैलकुलेटेड. अब यहीं पर एक और टर्म आता है विच इज नोन एज द पार्टिसिपेशन रेट. the participation rate. It is calculated as labor force upon, write it down, the working age population into 100. That is how the participation rate is calculated. ये formulas important है. Okay. Now we are going to understand types of unemployment because that is also again have been asked. 2016 का अगर आप पेपर देखोगे तो ये पूछा गया है. ठीक है. So I am going to erase all of this. We have understood categories, we have understood rates. Now let us understand the types of unemployment. Now there are different categories. We have studied this in NCERT. NCERT में हमने पढ़ा है. For example, we have cyclical unemployment. तो this basically type fluctuates. ठीक है. कैसे fluctuate करता है? Fluctuates with, write it down, with business cycle. It increases during recession and it decreases during economic slowdown. That is why it is known as cyclical. इस तरीके से. ठीक है. cyclical रहता है ये. Then next we have, cyclical के बाद हो जाता है अपना structural unemployment. Basically it arises from the mismatch between the job opportunities in the market, which are, or you can say, write it down, available in the market and the skills possessed by available workforce. और ये आजकल हो रहा है. It is happening. Available workforce, आपके जो skills हैं, whatever skills you have, if they are not matching with the job opportunities which are available, again that will result into unemployment. ना structural unemployment हो जाएगा इस केस में. But ये structural है. Structure में दिक्कत है. Skills and opportunities are not matching. Okay. Then next type we have, ये हो गया type 1, ये हो गया type 2. Now the third type we have disguised This is the most common unemployment type that we have studied in NCRT. So what exactly is disguised unemployment? Yes, so यहाँ पर लिखो, it occurs when more people are are employed than necessary. एग्रीकल्चर एंड अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में दिस काइंड ऑफ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इज फाउंड. जितनी ज़रूरत है उससे ज़्यादा लोगों को आपने एम्प्लॉयमेंट दे रखी है, दैट इज डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, बिकॉज काम तो हो नहीं रहा ना, फिर नीड ही नहीं है, बट दिखा रखा है कि दैट दे आर एम्प्लॉयड. इन रियलिटी दे आर नॉट, बिकॉज देर इज नो टाइप ऑफ वर्क विच इज एलोकेटेड टू देम. And then we have the most famous one, which is known as the technological unemployment. This happens when the jobs are lost. Why? Due to technological advancements, AI, right? सब जगह ये हो रहा है ना, that AI is overpowering humans now, right? So World Bank ने तो 2016 में ही प्रोडिक्ट कर दिया था that automation can reduce to 69% of job loss. तो यहाँ पर अब आपको दिख ही रहा है, AI is coming up, so many jobs are getting replaced by AI. So these are the different types of unemployment that you need to understand. So we have understood the percentages calculation, we have understood the three categories of people in economy, and we have understood the types of unemployment with examples. ठीक है, तो हमने टाइप्स और ट्रेंड्स भी यहाँ पर पढ़ लिए, तो इसको हम टिक कर देते हैं ऐसे. Two things are covered. Now let us understand poverty estimates. This is very important. Again, Rangarajan committee, Tendulkar committee, these have been asked in prelims, not just in prelims, mains mein 15 marker questions have been asked. So if we look at mains now, this particular topic has a weightage of 15 marks in mains. Again, unemployment may be 15 marks weightage in mains. So you cannot skip it. इसको तो skip कर ही नहीं सकते हैं हम. When we study about poverty, there are certain key terms that you need to understand before we study about poverty. First is, what is poverty ratio? Poverty ratio होता क्या है? When we talk about poverty ratio, basically it is, write it down, the proportion of population below the poverty line. It is known as poverty ratio. It is also known as, write it down, the head count ratio, and this is the term which newspapers usually use. Okay, तो इसलिए head count ratio समझना जरूरी है. It is what? It is poverty ratio only. Now, next important term that we have is, write it down, poverty line basket. What is it? इसका मतलब क्या होता है? So basically it is that basket of goods, write it down, basket of goods and services which is must to satisfy the basic human नीड्स. उसको हम PLB बोलते हैं, पॉवर्टी लाइन बास्केट बोलते हैं. ठीक है. देन अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड ओवर हियर. ये टर्म्स इंपॉर्टेंट है बिकॉज यू कम अक्रॉस दीज टर्म्स इन करंट अफेयर्स. आप सिर्फ परसेंटेज याद कर लोगे, मीनिंग नहीं समझोगे, देन देयर इज नो यूज, राइट? Then next is poverty line. Let us understand what exactly is poverty line. Basically it is used to measure poverty. Poverty को, गरीबी को measure करने के लिए poverty line is used. To specify, write it down, to specify a minimum expenditure or a minimum income which is required to purchase a particular basket of goods and services, right? Which is required to purchase a particular basket of goods and services, that is known as poverty line. बेसिकली आपकी ह्यूमन नीड्स को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए, बेसिक ह्यूमन नीड्स को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए जो मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ खर्चा या इनकम आपको जरूरत है गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज को परचेज करने के लिए, दैट इज पॉवर्टी लाइन. उसको हम एक लाइन बना के चलते हैं. ठीक है, वी क्रिएट अ बाउंड्री कि दिस मच इज रिक्वायर्ड, दैट इज पॉवर्टी लाइन. नाउ अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट, BPL census. What is BPL census? Means counting, right? Counting of something. Below poverty line census. It is conducted by which ministry? This is important for prelims. Conducted by Ministry of Rural Development. Full form लिख देती हूँ if in case you revise through the notes. Ministry of Rural Development. The notes are given on a Telegram community. वहाँ से आप इसको डाउनलोड कर लेना. ठीक है. अब इसके साथ ना पार्टनरशिप भी होती है, पार्टनरशिप विद स्टेट्स. in a particular state, if it is being conducted, partnership with that state will be done so that poor households can be identified. That is why BPL census is important. And in our country, we have, write it down, poverty elimination plan also. पॉवर्टी एलिमिनेशन प्लान भी है हमारी कंट्री में. बेसिकली पॉवर्टी एस्टिमेट्स in the form of, you can say, poverty line are used to formulate poor centric schemes and policies under the poverty elimination plan. That is why BPL census is important. That is why poverty line is important. इसलिए poverty ratio important है. Everything is interconnected. ठीक है. So now let us understand what are the ways in which measurement of poverty line is done. Now, when we talk about measurement of poverty line, very interesting topic. So first is known as, write it down, absolute poverty. अब ये एब्सोल्यूट पॉवर्टी की डेफिनेशन क्या होती है? बेसिकली इट मीन्स लैक ऑफ बेसिक नीड्स. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज एब्सोल्यूट. बेसिक नीड्स क्या होते हैं? फूड, क्लोथिंग, शेल्टर, राइट? दैट इज बेसिक नीड्स. लैक ऑफ बेसिक नीड्स रिजल्ट्स इन एब्सोल्यूट पॉवर्टी. एग्जाम्पल क्या हो सकता है? लेट्स से इट इज, देयर इज अ फैमिली, ठीक है, ये मम्मी पापा, ये बच्चे हो गए, एंड दे कैन नॉट अफोर्ड 2 meals a day. They cannot afford clean water or roof over their heads. That is an example of absolute poverty. And how can it be measured? तो कैसे measured होता है? Poverty line के through measure होता है. It is measured through poverty line. It is set with based on cost of basic items, clothing, basket of food, etc. So anyone who is earning below this poverty line will fall under absolute poverty. But there is a criticism here. What is the criticism? So write it down. Criticism here is, in this measurement, that it does not consider cost differences between places. For example, Delhi versus a village. Over a changing period of time, there are cost differences between places. That is not considered in absolute poverty. Write it down here. Or changing, समय के साथ साथ भी तो कॉस्ट डिफर करता है, तो वो भी इसमें कंसिडर नहीं किया जाता. सो इट इज नॉट अ ट्रू मेजर, वी कैन से. दिस इज द क्रिटिसिज्म ऑफ एब्सोल्यूट पॉवर्टी मेजरमेंट. देन वी हैव सेकंड इज, राइट इट डाउन, यहाँ पर हम लिखेंगे सेकंड, यहाँ लिखेंगे हम relative poverty. Next is relative poverty. Now what exactly is relative poverty? देखो इसकी definition is quite simple. First definition is, when someone, write it down, when someone earns less than most others in their country. They are not starving. यहाँ पर ब्रैकेट में लिख लो, दे आर नॉट स्टार्विंग, बट relatively they are poor in comparison to other people who are earning in this country. They are poor. So example, a person in a rich country who cannot afford a smartphone or cannot afford internet may be relatively poor. Okay, so कैसे इसको measure किया जाता है? It is measured, write it down, anyone earning below a certain percentage, let's say 50% or 60% of the average income is considered poor. So basically what is the criticism here? यहाँ पर इस measurement में criticism क्या है? The criticism here is that it ignores whether the basic needs are met or not. Okay, तो basic needs को measure करना यहाँ पर ignore किया जा रहा है. That is relative poverty's criticism. Now let us understand data collection methods for poverty. Basically, when we talk about methods, there are two methods: uniform recall period and mixed reference period. Out of these two, mixed reference period is considered as the better option. Now uniform recall period में क्या होता है? People are asked, it's a data collection method ना, so people will be surveyed. People are asked about what they spend money on everything. There is no fixed basket of good or services that they are spending money on everything in the last 30 days. And in mixed reference period, last 1 year time period is taken into consideration, but only for some items. What are the some items? Some items यहाँ पर लिख लो are, write it down, education or durable goods like fridge, etc. Right? So on some item in the last 1 year, what kind of money, what money they spent. अब इसमें example क्या हो सकता है? Example can be how much did you spend on food, or let's say on clothes, or let's say on medicines in the last 1 month, in last 1 month. And here what can be the example? Example can be ki how much did you spend money on food or everyday items, soap, etc. in the last you can say 30 days or in the last 1 year. Okay, तो यहाँ पर ये बेटर क्यों है? बिकॉज इट गिव्स मोर एक्यूरेट पिक्चर, मोर accurate picture of occasional big expenses. That is why it is better. Last 30 days भी लिया जाता है इसके अंदर, but only for some items, soap, food, etc. Okay, so that is the mixed reference period that you need to remember. So these are the two methods in poverty. So what have we completed so far? हमने यहाँ तक क्या complete कर लिया? We have completed poverty estimates में what exactly is poverty estimate and what are the methods. Now there are important committees that we need to study, which is Tendulkar Committee, Rangarajan Committee and MPI. Now, why did I explain to you about mixed reference period and uniform recall period? Because the poverty line estimation committees, they were using these data collection methods. For example, the first committee that we are going to study is, write it down, Tendulkar Committee. Tendulkar Committee. ठीक है? Tendulkar Committee basically used the mixed reference period, MRP. ठीक है? ये इन्होंने यूज किया, and it was headed by, write it down, it was headed by Suresh Tendulkar. Suresh Tendulkar. And it was established why? To review and to revise the methodology for estimating poverty in India. 2009 में दिसंबर में इस कमेटी की रिपोर्ट को सबमिट किया गया था. बेसिकली तेंदुलकर कमेटी ने न्यू पॉवर्टी लाइन रेकमेंड की थी. इट रिवाइज द पॉवर्टी लाइन एंड इट वाज एक्सेप्टेड आल्सो. हु एक्सेप्टेड इट? इट वाज एक्सेप्टेड बाय द प्लानिंग कमीशन ने इसको एक्सेप्ट भी किया था. सो बेसिकली दे शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम अ कैलोरी बेस्ड अप्रोच फॉर कैलकुलेटिंग द पॉवर्टी लाइन टू यूजिंग अ बास्केट ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज which was commonly consumed by people in both the rural and the urban areas. Okay, तो MRP, अब हमें पता चल गया MRP पीरियड मेथड क्या था. तो we can understand how Tendulkar committee calculated. Okay, now next important aspect, Rangarajan committee. Now when we talk about Rangarajan committee, write it down, it was formed by the planning commission in 2012. Again, methodology for measuring poverty line was revised. Now here it was established to revisit the method of measuring poverty in India, but it was criticized also. Tendulkar committee के measures को भी criticize किया गया था. And how it calculated, methodology क्या था? It used, write it down, it used different method compared to Tendulkar committee. So basically इन्होंने क्या किया था? They considered normative requirements. Normative requirements का मतलब क्या होता है? What is the meaning of normative requirements? It means basically जो हमने first पढ़ा था, right? It means everything, basic education, basic food, shelter, everything was taken into calculation while calculating or measuring the poverty line. Okay, तो हम यहाँ लिख सकते हैं clothing, we can write over here housing, we can write over here education, food expenditure, everything was calculated, taken into account while measuring poverty. ठीक है, तो ये हमारे दो कमिटीज हैं जो आपको याद रखने हैं. होलिस्टिक अप्रोच वाज टेकन इन रंगराजन कमिटी. Now, MPI is important. What exactly is MPI? Let us understand that. When we talk about MPI, which is multidimensional poverty index, basically what is it? It is a tool which is used to measure poverty, to measure poverty that goes beyond income, that goes beyond income. इसका मतलब क्या है? Because M means multidimensional, different dimensions are taken into consideration while calculating poverty. So what are the key aspects? What are the key aspects? First key aspect is focus. ठीक है, तो इसमें income is not the focus. Write it down. Income is not the focus, is not the focus. It measures poverty by looking at different derivatives, different deprivations in multiple areas. कहाँ कहाँ lack है life में, where what are the areas in your life where there are things which are lacking, not just the income part, not just the financial part. Then second, different dimensions are used over here. What are the dimensions? Health is the dimension, education, living standards. These are the different deprivations which are measured, which are taken into consideration. Then third is measurement, measurements. ठीक है, अब measurements का मतलब क्या होता है? That basically MPI क्या करता है? It measures, write it down, it measures इंसिडेंस. इंसिडेंस का मतलब हम यहाँ पर हेड काउंट भी बोल सकते हैं, हेड काउंट, एंड इंटेंसिटी ऑफ पॉवर्टी, इंटेंसिटी ऑफ पॉवर्टी. तो इसमें अंडरलाइन कर देते हैं, इंसिडेंस एंड इंटेंसिटी ऑफ पॉवर्टी इज मेजर्ड ओवर हियर. बेसिकली हाउ मेनी पीपल आर पुअर, हाउ डीपली दे आर अफेक्टेड बाय पॉवर्टी, एवरीथिंग इज टेकन इनटू कंसिडरेशन इन मेजरमेंट. And then fourth is indicators. Different indicators भी होता है. For example, child stunting, access to education, child mortality, etc. Okay, these are different indicators which are taken into account in MPI. एंड डेटा सोर्सेज भी अलग अलग होते हैं. हेल्थ सर्वे कंडक्ट किए जाते हैं, क्लस्टर सर्वेज होते हैं, राइट, मल्टीपल इंडिकेटर क्लस्टर सर्वेज विच आर कंडक्टेड टू कैलकुलेट द मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स. तो दिस इज अ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इंडेक्स विच शोज यू द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ ऑल्सो, not just the quality of finances, the affordability aspect, not just that, the quality of life, the access to various things are also taken into consideration. So we have completed the core aspects, including the current aspects in the important terms like deficits, the ways poverty is estimated. Then we have also understood what is the difference between fiscal and monetary policy, etc. Now the budget part, in a very very comprehensive manner. करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट, BOP, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्या होता है, एक्सचेंज रेट्स, फॉरेक्स, एटसेट्रा, आई हैड कवर्ड इन द बजट क्लास in detail. So I will be linking the budget class in the description box in the I button also. Description box में भी होगा. If you go through that one class ना, budget की class, trust me, the entire aspect of budgetary aspect of economy, forex, एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स का जो भी इंक्लाइनेशन एंड इंटरलिंकिंग रहता है इकोनॉमी के साथ, प्लस द करंट अकाउंट एंड कैपिटल अकाउंट, एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम, रुपी कन्वर्टेबिलिटी, एवरीथिंग विल बी कवर्ड इन दैट वन क्लास. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू रीविजिट दैट क्लास ऑल्सो, क्योंकि बार बार उसी चीज को रिपीट करने से अच्छा है कि एक क्लास बनी हुई है विद नोट्स, हैंडमेड नोट्स आई हैव मेड, सो एवरीथिंग इज देयर including the schemes, the policies that government has announced. Okay, do watch that class, and also please share your feedback in the comment section. उसके बिना काम नहीं चलेगा. There is a test also at 4 p.m. There will be a test. Link is given in the description box. 4 बजे होगा test. Notes will be uploaded on Telegram. Do join the Telegram community and share your feedback so that next सब्जेक्ट आई कैन कवर वेरी वेल. आज मैं नोट्स बनाऊंगी आपके लिए, तो मुझे बताना कौन सा सब्जेक्ट. इट कैन बी ज्योग्राफी, इट कैन बी पॉलिटी, और इट कैन बी मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री. यू टेल मी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन एज फीडबैक. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन. कीप रिवाइजिंग. यही टाइम है. लास्ट 20-19 days आर वेरी क्रूशियल फॉर रिवीजन.